Howdy folks, this is Howie here at Cedar Creek Homestead. Thanks for joining me today here, and just going to give you a quick garden update. We had some hail last week that damaged a little bit on some of my stuff. It's not as good as I had liked for it to be, but some of my cabbage leaf stuff knocked holes in. And I planted a few little things, and I was going to show you out in the garden. We've had last few days like an inch of rain, 2 different half-inch rains. So, but they were saying we could get big rains, and I thought, oh no. And the other night there was tornado warnings all around here, and my son got tickled at me, but I went out to the garden right before the storms. They were lightning back off here in the west, and I thought, oh, here they come. And he told his mama, said, Dad's out there in the garden. And they want to know why I went out to the garden before the storm. I said I wanted to get one good last look at the garden in case because they said we could get like softball up to baseball size hail. And out of that particular storm, we didn't get any hail. Now, a few days before, we had gotten little old pea-size hail, and it was enough that it damaged a little bit of the stuff. I'll just show you a little bit here of some of the stuff, and we'll go out to the garden and we'll look there. The lettuce is coming up real good, and the radishes, and the hail didn't hurt them at all. The hail bent over some of my onion leaves. Some of them's trying to straight back up, but it's kind of done a number on them. And you can see these leaves in the lettuce. I tell you what, this is some really good lettuce too. It's still edible. That don't really make too much difference once it gets in your tummy, and you're gonna chop it up anyway. But it got a bunch of holes in my lettuce leaves, and we had some voluntary sunflowers that come up, and you can see right there's a little hole in a few of the leaves on them. And anyway, the tomatoes, I lost 2 or 3 tomatoes in the garden that broke off, but this one here, you can't really tell it even hurt at all. My spinach looking good. Cabbages, as you can see here, this looks like bug damage, but it's not. It is actually from the pea-sized hail. That stuff come down really hard. Got little tomatoes coming on. These are cherry tomatoes. I've gotten these couple of buckets here I'm going to play around with this year. Anyway, I wanted to share something with you. If you have a Walmart in your area, you might want to check this out. But I got some fruit trees, and I was going to share with you here. But it's a pear, and it's not a Bartlett. I have forgotten the variety. It didn't really matter to me what variety it was. I brought it home in the truck, and it kind of damaged the leaves a little bit, but it was real pretty. But Walmart had these for $12.47. I believe they were marked down, $12.47 for fruit trees. So if you have a Walmart near you, I don't normally even go to Walmarts hardly. I hate going in there and having to stand in line. But anyway, here's another one. But if you got one, you might want to check out their section. This one was $12.47. If they'd had a peach tree, I'd have bought one. I've got one peach tree here. I'm wanting to put another one. I've got a spot saved here. Just something I wanted to throw out there to you. You've got to try is at Walmart, at our Walmart. I don't know if it's this way or not, but used to you could go through the entryway where the lawn and garden is. You could go right into the store and get things at the lawn and garden, and you could go throughout the rest of the store, and you could come back and check out through the lawn and garden, or however you want to do it. Well, now they got that closed off, and all their vegetable plants and fruit trees and mulch and all that is all outside the building. Used to, the mulch and stuff, fruit trees would be out there, but you could go inside under their covering and buy your vegetables. But for some reason, ours has everything outside. But they have a guy that walks around with a little computer box thing, And when you get what you want, he'll come up there and scan them with this little box, and you just slide your credit card in there, and he just texts you your receipt. And I'm sure there's a way they could print one if you just had to have a printed one, but I just like text me, mine's fine. But he rang up those fruit trees, and I bought a couple of flats of plants there, and didn't even have to go in the building. I mean, it was quick. And they kind of have a drive-through deal where you, in between all the mulch and stuff, you can actually just drive your vehicle right down through there. Really handy and quick if you needed mulch or something like that. We just pulled in there so we could load our fruit trees, but just a heads up there, if you got a Walmart around you, you know, that kind of technology, what they're doing there at the Walmart. They had one person out there working. They might have had a person or two that was stocking and putting things out, but they had a guy out there that was running this little box. No big line. There was quite a few people out there, but it was just so quick. And I was like, now that's modern technology for you. Sometimes some modern stuff works. But anyway, I was going to go out to the garden. We're going to take a quick look out in the garden at kind of what's going on out there. If you've been watching my videos, I've been planting green beans and black-eyed peas and turnips and beets and tomatoes and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go out and take a little look out in the garden today. Well, some of the stuff is coming up a little bit. It's really hard to see, but there is the beets are coming up. And I don't know if I've done a video on them yet, but that's my row of beets. It's hard to see them as they get further down there, but they are coming up really good. And here is my turnips. I showed you sowing turnips. I have a video on that, and you can see how well that whole row of turnips, we're going to have a lot of turnips, it looks like. I tried some squash seeds in coffee cans, and I set the cans out here the other day after the plants had come up. They're doing good, but my healed squash has not came up yet. It takes a few days. Right there is one just fixing to. It's trying to pop up out of the ground. I'm not going to hurt it, mess with it. There's another one fixing to come up out of the ground. And I got some watermelons, cantaloupes planted too, besides squash. Boy, our garden looks bare here. You take people like Deep South Homestead down there in Mississippi, they're along the coast area. Well, they get warmer temperatures than what we have, so they've already been harvesting stuff, and we've just been able, we just had a killing frost a week ago, I guess it was, and so it was cold enough that could have killed. I call it a killing frost, but I had to wait till last frost to get stuff planted. Usually after the 15th of April here, you're pretty safe. But anyway, this is some purple hull peas that are coming up. Just a few of them have came up so far. And here's a row of green beans. And don't those look cute? Little plants coming up. They're just taking up to sprouting. So here's my okra. See them little bitty okra plants. They're just now popping up through the ground. And my peppers, there, hot peppers are coming on. I've got some more pepper plants to put out. Here's the coffee can tomatoes. That little dude has started putting on some growth. And it's got a ways to go before we'll have tomatoes. But the temperatures now are in the 70s and 80s during the day, and in the 50s at night. It did get down to 47 last night after these storms come through. We had a little front. Look at that pretty plant. These are better boys than the ones I did in the coffee cans. But they're coming up. Got a whole 2 rows here of tomatoes where these white pipes are. I don't know if you can see the little plants. They're all looking pretty good. I have lost way down there a couple of different maybe 3 or 4 actually tomato plants that have died. I want to replant them. but they broke off, and I think that hail when we had it the other day just was a little bit too much on them and just snapped them off. I thought it might even be cutworms, but I dug around there and didn't see. I don't think it was cutworms, but we do have cutworm problems here we have to watch. I don't think I've lost anything to that yet. I hope not anyway, but it's something I got to really watch and keep an eye on. Anyway, that's garden video today, just a little update. I know it's nothing big, we're not picking nothing. We have lettuce ready up there, but that's about it right now. Blackberries, everything's looking good and coming along, and these warmer days is really going to help get stuff going. And like I say, I was afraid we were going to have such big hail what they was forecasting, and some areas did get some. One of the storms we had up north here in Tulsa, they had a car lot or two up near Tulsa that they had big old holes knocked through the windshields of vehicles and stuff, and just really done a lot of damage. But right here we got that pea-sized stuff from it, and but it didn't last very long, but what little bit it did a little bit of damage. But I can live with that. We were praying, Lord, help us. And the Lord does that. I believe He looks out for us. And we had in fact, that night the storm was coming, and it actually looked like on the radar that it split. And half of the storm system went one way and half went the other. And we actually, for a little while, sun come out. And then it held just a little bit and rained, but it was something how it did, and we were just so thankful, because we really depend on our garden, and we need things, especially this year, we need things to go good. And so anyway, we appreciate you watching today. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, and if you are a subscriber, give us a thumbs up, comment on the video, and we sure appreciate all of you, and have made a lot of new friends here on YouTube doing these videos, and we sure are enjoying it, and I hope you're enjoying it as much as we are. And may God richly bless you, and we'll see you next time. We're gone.